Greetings, everyone. Greetings and salutations and all of that. Welcome back. It's been a great week. Personally, it's been a shitty week as a country. But what else is new? I'm going to wait for a few of you to get in. Hey, Stephen Calais, how are you, my friend? Nicole, what's going on, baby? How you feeling? Evie, H-Town in the house. The Tula Caesars here. Florida Cabinet in the building. It's been about a week since we've met. I think weekly works better for us and for me. But I think we got a lot to talk about. This week's meeting is sad, bitch. Like, it's like, damn. Like, it's like, we talk about a lot of things in these meetings. But, you know, it's just, this week was a lot. What's going on, Teresa? Malika, hey, Malika, what's going on, my dear? Arena, what's going on? How's everybody? Some of y'all loading in quick today. I'm going to let a few more folks get in and then we're going to get started. Before we get started on the news, I want to say this. Because I'm not a believer in policing people's opinions. I'm not a believer in you should think what I think. Yes, there's a moral compass. But I just want to say to, you know, some of our friends on the left, you know, if a person asks a question or challenges something for someone that you don't like, I mean, you can call it a conspiracy theory, you can call it whatever you like, but that person is entitled to their opinion, they're entitled to ask a question. These people are all human beings, and for God's sake, they are politicians, bitch, so it's not like they're squeaky clean anyway. So, I just want to give a friendly reminder to that. Yes, we have to win this election, but we don't even know who the fuck the candidate is going to be yet. Okay, so if someone has asked questions, especially about somebody who's not even running, and I'm speaking on that article I shared about the people who have died who've worked for the Clintons. Not saying that the Clintons have done it, but I just thought it was a convenient circumstance. Now, I didn't even think that deeply about it, but now y'all got me wanting to go do a whole research paper on it and come back and do a special report just because you made such a big deal out of me sharing things that actually did happen. But, anyway, let's get started. Now, we're going to start with the elephant in the room, bitch. I had to pull out the Mac, bitch, okay? The Mac, you know when I pull out the Mac, bitch, it's giving research, okay? So, Jeffrey Epstein, bitch. Mother Jeff. He committed suicide. El Finito. Finished. Hasta la vista. Baby. It's a wrap. Why you gotta do me like that? He did. So basically, they saying he killed himself. Now, the whole internet, I've never seen a unanimous view from the internet. Because you know on the internet, everybody and their mother got an opinion. But, including myself. But this is one of the few cases where people were unanimous. Like this man... Yes, there's a possibility he could have killed himself. But I don't feel like that's what happened. I think he got B613. That's just my personal opinion. I feel like this black book that he have of clients that stretches all the way up to the top, I feel like they killed that man personally. Now, I could be wrong. We could all be wrong. But I don't think that I'm wrong. So we're going to look at the facts, bitch. Okay, so, and I'm quoting from New York Magazine, The New Yorker, and USA Today. Okay, so, details of his death. So, according to NBC News, bitch, Epstein hanged himself at some point overnight Friday in his cell and was taken to a local hospital from the MCC on Saturday morning, per the Department of Justice's official statement. On Saturday, August 10th at approximately 6:30 a.m., inmate Jeffrey Epstein was found unresponsive in his cell. Okay, so he was in a special housing unit. Okay, now he was on suicide watch. Now, mind you, they set the shit up. See, this is why I watch a lot of TV. But that shit, like, you not gonna tell me SVU, bitch, don't be based on, every one of the dumb shows be based on real life shit, bitch. It's when they did the Chris Brown story, bitch, don't tell me that shit don't be real. So, I do watch a lot of TV, but how you have a man on suicide watch and then take him off that quick? Especially with a high-powered case like this. Okay? Especially a high-powered case like this. You would think if this man, for this high profile of a case, you would think that they would have 24-hour guards. It would be like, bitch, you ain't doing shit. You can't even piss without us hearing the steam. Okay? They took him off suicide watch. Okay? 3 weeks before his death, he had been found semi-conscious in his cell with marks around his neck. Okay? So they put him on suicide watch. He was taken off suicide watch on July 29th and returned to the jail special housing unit after a psychiatric evaluation determined he was no longer at risk of harming himself. It is not yet clear who made that evaluation. So, bitch, y'all already know from Orange is the New Black that these prison doctors is full of shit. You know they're not giving real health care. Not saying that for what he's done, I'm not defending Jeffrey Epstein. I just want to make that clear. I am not defending Jeffrey Epstein, so I don't want y'all to come for me in his moment. But I do find it strange. Y'all know them prison doctors is full of shit. Y'all know how this works. Y'all saw When They See Us, bitch. You see how they treated old boy when he went to the motherfucking prison doctor. So you know these prison psychiatric people ain't shit. They probably was like, fuck it. And if they got a check, bitch, they definitely cleared his ass for general population. But anyway. So, they cleared him for, to go back. Okay. So, they reported that the Times is saying that it's standard practice at the facility for inmates who have been on suicide watch to be housed with other inmates. Epstein was placed in a cell with another inmate at first, but that inmate was later transferred out of the special housing unit, leaving Epstein alone in the cell, which reportedly had a metal door and a small glass window. It is not clear why Epstein was not immediately assigned another cellmate. So, alright, bitch. They took him off suicide watch, put him in the cell. The other inmate conveniently gets transferred, bitch. Y'all seen these prison movies, how they work? Y'all seen American History X, bitch? Y'all know how this works. So they took him off suicide watch. They probably paid the doctor off, bitch. And this is all speculative. I'm just putting the story together. I'm just a complexion tonight. They took him off suicide watch, put him in the cell, initially had him with another inmate, but then the inmate conveniently gets transferred out of the unit. Okay? So, in addition, the guards are supposed to check on inmates in a special housing unit every 30 minutes. But catch this, T-bitch. Reportedly failed to do so on Friday night. It is not clear yet how that was allowed to happen. A prison official who spoke with the Times said that the two guards who were on duty on Friday night were both working overtime, and one was working his 5th consecutive overtime shift, bitch. So the prison already gonna use the "I was tired" excuse, bitch. So they gonna get fired if they ain't fired already. I don't know if they got fired yet, but they gonna get fired. They probably got paid off to get fired. But they gonna get fired. You fired, bitch. Go, do not pass go, do not collect $200. Your ass is fired. Okay? So they was tired, so they couldn't check on them every 30 minutes. Alright, so then there's also unconfirmed rumors that Epstein's earlier injury, this is when he first tried to kill himself, bitch, had been the result of an attack Epstein had initially been held in general population where he'd been targeted for extortion as a wealthy pedophile. A source with knowledge of his circumstances told the Daily Beast, describing Epstein's injuries from his prior alleged suicide. I love how they say alleged, bitch. Alleged suicide attempt as small abrasions around his neck. At the time of that attempt, he shared a cell with Nicholas Tartaglione, a former police officer charged with kidnapping and murdering 4 people in 2016. So, bitch, they tried to get your ass the first time. You dodged that bullet. They put you in a cell with a dirty cop. Like, that, you can't make this shit up. This is a screenplay, bitch. Quentin Tarantino, Scorsese, by the rights. I know it's fucked up, but this is giving a Netflix original. I don't care what nobody say. Okay? I'm just saying. Tartaglione's lawyer, Bruce Barker, told authorities his client had saved Epstein's life during the first suicide attempt by alerting corrections officers. He claimed Tartaglione was being implicated in the suicide attempt because he recently complained about conditions at the Metropolitan Correctional Center, saying in a statement at the time, "We warned the judge that officials at the jail would retaliate against Nick because we have been exposing the inhumane conditions at the facility." So the lawyer, bitch, let's see, this is why we do this. This is why we do this, okay? So I'm going to read this again in case you missed it. Tartaglione's lawyer, Bruce Barker, told authorities his client had saved Epstein's life during the first suicide attempt by alerting corrections officers. He claimed Tartaglione was being implicated in the suicide attempt because he recently complained about the conditions at the MCC. So basically, they was going to kill his ass, and because this was a dirty cop already, he already had all them charges, bitch. He was complaining about the conditions of the prison. They was going to blame his ass for killing that man. You can't make this up. I don't know what in the name of Tyler Perry, how you can write this. This is some scandal shit. Crazy. Bitch. The Beast sources said that Epstein lived like a pig in a sty. After his first attempted suicide, eating meals off the floor and making frequent requests for toilet paper. Now, I could see that because being an extremely wealthy person and then finally getting called to task for all of your bullshit, he probably went crazy. Now, I'm not going to say that him committing suicide, like he may not have committed suicide. I just think it's incredibly convenient. But the man probably started losing his mind once shit got real, which could be a suicide. It could be a suicide. But it's just like, it's too many things. It's too many things going on here. Okay. So that's what happened. So he was losing his mind a little bit. Now, where does that leave us with the investigation? Okay. Now, the man did. So you can't try a dead man. The only thing that they can do at this point is sue. And you know they gonna sue, bitch. They gonna sue. Them girls is about to get paid. And he ain't here to defend himself either, bitch. All them coins, they about to get paid. Not saying that the money is compensation for the trauma, because it's not. But I'm just saying, they're about to get paid, bitch. It's giving coin. It's giving, can I borrow a couple of dollars? Facts. Okay? Now, the investigation, of course, they saying that the investigation is going to continue. But I don't know how that's going to happen with nobody to investigate. Now, my guess is they're going to have this investigation continue, and this is only my guess, because they want what's in that book, bitch. They want what's in that book. They want to find out who those clients were. That's what that is about. And I think we would be surprised, but I think we wouldn't be surprised at who some of his clients were. Just for those of you who are not familiar with Jeffrey Epstein, basically he was running a sex trafficking ring for high-powered and wealthy men. So he get these underage girls and, you know, have them doing something strange for a piece of change for all these rich, wealthy, nasty-ass, sloppy-ass men. Okay? Now, here's something interesting. Former federal prosecutor said this: no one else will have standing to challenge the search warrant on his house. Everything will be admissible against any other defendant without possibility of a motion to suppress. Okay? So this basically means that, bitch, if they find something, it's his house, bitch, not yours. So you can't challenge shit. Somebody get ready to get roasted. I think they put a Band-Aid. I think his death is a temporary fix. But somebody's ass is going to get roasted. Now, with Epstein's death, prosecutors in the Southern District of New York will likely refocus their probe on Maxwell, Sarah Kellen Vickers, Adriana Ross, and Leslie Groff, all of whom allegedly helped run Epstein's operation in the mid to late 2000s. Another woman, Nadia Marcinkova, who is now a commercial pilot, was accused of sexually abusing some of the underage girls. God damn, bitch. They was going in. So, it's a lot going on with this case. Long story short, I don't think this is the last that we've heard of this. I think his death complicates things for the prosecution, but I think this is far from over. It's far from over with Jeffrey Epstein. And it gives you a little bit more insight as to what's going on. Like I said, once again, I'm not advocating for Jeffrey Epstein. I really think he should have stood trial and went to justice. But, you know, hey, he did. Now, moving on to our next segment. Bitch, this is giving a show. Moving on to our next segment, the ICE raids. Now, we've all seen on the news in Mississippi, of all places, Mississippi, bitch. Like Mississippi, okay? But you didn't expect Mississippi. I didn't expect Mississippi. And they didn't expect Mississippi, bitch. Everybody's like, you gonna go to LA, Texas, all these places. Mississippi, bitch. I forgot Mississippi was a state in the union. No shade. Anyway, so in Mississippi, they arrested 680 illegal immigrants, undocumented workers, from food plants in Mississippi. Now, the interesting thing about this was, not only was it, like, sad, I think it was irresponsible. Now, once again, I do think that you should follow a legal path to citizenship, especially when you get to the country. I think everybody, you know, should have the right to make a better life, but just go through the channels. You know, once you get here, if you're in here legally, go ahead and just do what you got to do. I'm not saying it's easy, because that's not something that I have to go through as a United States citizen. So I'm not going to say it's an easy process. But once you're here, you've been working, you're here, go ahead and do what you got to do, sis. That's all I'm going to say about that. Now, I do think that it is irresponsible of the government and ICE to arrest 680 people. Now, mind you, 300 people were released the same day. I think that might have got lost in the news cycle, but 300 were released the same day. The thing is, that was irresponsible, because you have all of these children at school who don't know where to go. Their parents are now just vanished and gone. You put in the school system and the schools themselves in a predicament, because they don't know what to do with all of these kids. They're not sure what's going on. I just think the whole thing was just messy the way it went down. Like, it just was very, like, it was poor planning, Well, it wasn't poor planning, bitch, because they gagged them at those factories. No shade, that was a gag, so they did plan it. But I just think you have to take in the human element. Yes, I understand, illegal immigration, things like that. But at some point, we have to, as human beings, and this is what I'm saying, because I feel like, especially in the internet age, we have a tendency to do a lot of this, a lot of finger pointing, and a lot of I'm right and this is my opinion and you should feel this way, and we take the human factor out of things, and that. So I think that was irresponsible. So they went ahead and they locked them up. Now here's the thing. It was 7 Mississippi plants owned by 4 companies. So, I don't know, maybe you guys knew this, I didn't. I know when you watch the news sometimes, they just say 680 people were arrested. You thinking it's this one big plane. It was like X-Men, like, oh my God, Marvel film. No, it was 7 Mississippi plants owned by 4 companies. Pico Foods, Koch Foods, PH Food, and Pearl River Foods. They are suspected, it's a fact, willfully and unlawfully employing undocumented workers, recently unsealed search warrants say. Okay, so the same bitch, so this is the gag, and this is some shit out of Independence Day. So, workers reported hearing the roar of helicopters and seeing agents round up mostly Latino workers for questioning. Many wept as they waved goodbye to their family and friends being carted away on buses for processing. It was the largest immigration sting of its kind in more than a decade. A total of 680 people were arrested. Of those, about 300 were released the same day as we said. Those who remain in detention are being held at an ICE facility in Louisiana, bitch. So they not even in the state no more. They done carted them off to Louisiana. Okay. Now, my question is, good thing you brought that up, D. What happens to these business owners? I feel like the reason why we don't hear of anything happening to these business owners is because a lot of Trump's friends, a lot of this administration and people that voted for them, they use illegal labor. Which shows how much loyalty Trump has, because the farmers, most of the farmers, they use illegal labor. The big warehouses, like as we see here, they use illegal labor. Because if you get American citizens to do these jobs, you're not going to be able to pay them $10 an hour to stand out in the hot ass sun and pick peaches all goddamn day. The last time they did it that cheap was slavery, bitch. You're not going to be able to pay American people that low. That's why I use illegal labor. You look at these warehouses. So it's interesting. I think that's why nothing happens to these business owners. Facts. So, as for the companies, no fines or arrests have taken place, though federal officials say investigations into the companies are ongoing. So you know what that means, bitch. They basically saying, bitch, we ain't doing shit. We ain't doing shit. Trump done probably already sent the narrative down, like, yeah, we gonna hit your company, y'all gonna take the hit, but we ain't gonna lock y'all up, y'all ain't gonna catch no L's, no charges, no shit like that. That's basically what they're saying. Not even a fine, bitch. You get the ticket for running the red light damn near 5 days after that motherfucker happened. They done employed 680 illegal, almost 700 illegal ass people. No fine, no nothing. They didn't get a boot on the car, bitch. Nothing. It's gonna happen. That's facts. Now, what did federal authorities know? How long have they been monitoring these companies, bitch? So here's the gag. Here's what I found that was interesting about this. They have been collecting data on these companies for quite some time. They had people on ankle monitoring bracelets with GPSs in them that showed them going to and from work, where they lived at, capturing all their data. Okay? So the government had been watching them. They had informants inside the plant, bitch. So I say to the people who got arrested in the suite, look to your neighbor to the left, look to your neighbor to the right, and look for the bitch that mysteriously called out of work that day, bitch. Because they probably told on your ass. Now, I'm just saying, bitch. It is what it is. So, they collected data in regards to that. For years, temporarily detained undocumented workers from as far as El Paso, Texas, and Yuma, Arizona, had employment cards from plants in Mississippi. He also said electronic ankle monitoring, surveillance, and a confidential informant played a part in where the raids would be targeted. There's a saying, when the axe walked into the forest, the trees whispered, the handle is one of us, bitch. So it be your own people telling on your ass. Confidential informant, bitch. So they have been doing this for quite some time. Okay? They have been looking at this. In an affidavit about Pico Foods notes that historical data dating back 17 years from November 18, 2002 to June 13, 2019 showed that approximately 222 undocumented workers processed by federal officials indicated they worked at Pico Foods and presented agents with Pico Foods personnel identification cards with their photographs and assumed identities. At Pearl River Foods in Carthage, agents analyzed employee roles and found that numerous workers were using stolen identities, social security cards that didn't match their names, or using social security cards reported to belong to dead people. In at least 2 cases at Pearl River Foods, the allegedly stolen personal information came from people who discovered that someone else had applied for work under their names when they tried to apply for food assistance or unemployment benefits. For PH Food in Morton, an employee served as a confidential informant. He told authorities the vast majority of the immigrants employed at the plant are undocumented and using fake biographical information. He also gave investigators information about the inner workings of the plant and identified people he believed to be undocumented workers. This is too much. 20 years from now, when they're making all these Lifetime, FX, Netflix, or whatever new streaming services out, movies, like, our children are not going to believe this shit. Like, our children are not going to believe this shit. They're not going to believe it. Like, they're going to think that this was fake. Because you can't make it. This is some CSI shit, bitch. And somebody brought up the Equifax breach, bitch. Dead people. Honestly, no wonder when people go, but I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes, I got my credit back, up now. But, bitch, if you'd have stole my identity, 3 years ago, bitch, you'd have just been practicing. Because I ain't got shit for you, okay? But, I'm just saying, bitch, the plot thickens. It thickens, bitch. It's a whole thing. And the thing is, the employers knew this. The employers knew this. It's like the employers have to be held responsible to a certain degree for this shit. What the fuck? Man. This is crazy. So, what penalties could the companies face? Absolutely shit. They still won't provide any details. Federal law says the maximum penalty for intentionally hiring an undocumented worker is 6 months in jail and a $3,000 fine for each undocumented worker. That's really nothing. Especially when you divide that up between 4 companies or some shit like that. Like, that's really nothing. Now, the company sent out a statement. Pico Foods said the company adheres strongly to all local, state, and federal laws, including utilizing a government-based E-Verify program which screens new hires through the Social Security Administration as well as the Department of Homeland Security. Koch Foods said it screens employees through E-Verify. Jim Gilliland, company spokesperson, also said the company relies on temporary workers vetted through a third-party service. Bitch, so this is how they gonna spend this. So this is how they gonna get out of this shit, bitch. So they're gonna say it's the temp agency fault. They're gonna blame it on the temp agency. And see, remember, they were using assumed identities and social security numbers of dead people. So if the dead person hasn't been reported yet, or that social security number is still active, they can technically say, well, when we checked these employees, it went through Equifax, it went through E-Verify, we contacted the temp agency, and they said that they were good. So these statements are already letting you know, they already covered their ass when they did this, bitch. They already covered their ass. So nothing's going to happen. They're going to blame it on the temp agency. They're going to say they're going to blame it on the computers. They're going to blame it on everybody but them. They already figured out how they're going to get out of this shit. This shit is wild. This shit is crazy. Okay? Like, this... Yo, like, this shit is, like, crazy, but, wow. Y'all just watch me discover something that I ain't even prepped for in that piece, because I just read that piece literally with y'all, and it's crazy. So that's how they going, we just read how they going to get out of it. That, my friends, is how they're going to get out of it. Okay? Now, I didn't want to start ultra depressing, but it's got to be addressed. These mass shootings. It's interesting, you know, in America and things like that. We had 3 mass shootings, and I think in the span of like a week, 2 weeks. You had the Dayton shooting, the El Paso shooting, and then the Gilroy Garlic Festival shooting in California that killed them 2 kids. There was multiple people injured, but a 6-year-old was killed in that. And it's just crazy to me how you can't even go to Walmart. This piece is more of an editorial opinion piece because we already know what happened, and I don't want to give too much light to those assholes who shot up all of those people and took their lives and extinguished their flame. But I think it's very sad in this country that we've come to this place. But here's the thing. The United States has a history of violence anyway. It's always had a history of violence. It's always had a history of domestic terrorism, too. We just didn't call it that. And if I'm going to be real, white men, because that's who it be most of the time in these domestic terrorism cases, have been given a pass for decades, centuries, for terrorism. Lynchings is terrorism. Burning crosses on people's lawns is terrorism. Police beatings of people in peaceful protest is terrorism. And now, my friends, mass shootings, you're shooting up churches, you're bombing the churches with 4 little girls in them, you're shooting up food festivals, bitch, you're shooting up a garlic festival, bitch. Is your life that unhappy? Okay? You're shooting up people can't even go to Walmart. Bitch, I'm just trying to get a rollback. I'm trying to come back from the rollback. Okay? You won't let me be great. Okay? You can't go to Walmart. You can't go to the club. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we as a country, and when I say we as a country, I'm talking about y'all, meaning the white establishment and the government, need to start calling it what it is. Yes, they may have some kind of mental problem in some space, but that ain't it, sis. It's terrorism. Well, you can take multiple people's lives in a minute, literally 30 seconds. That's terrorism. And if we're going to make America great again, you got to call your people out on that shit. That's the bottom line. And it ain't about no video game, because last time I heard, bitch, I couldn't kill nobody with a damn fatality or babality, bitch. Last time I checked, I didn't see nobody taking people's lives with an all-you-get, bitch. Okay? I haven't seen it. Let me know. Let me know. I think that we need to start holding these people to task, and the government and white America they have some work to do, because young white men are doing most of these shootings, if not all of them. You gotta be called to task. You shouldn't be, number one, you shouldn't be able to, why is it right or why is it necessary to even sell guns of that caliber to people? Like, what do you need to sell that kind of a gun for? I would look at you sideways if you came in my store buying some shit like that. I'm immediately... I just don't get it. And my I don't even want to say my prayers, but my heart goes out to those folks and to those children that have lost their lives. It's just maddening. Now, we do have an election coming up next year, and I want us to remember all of these things. If you need refreshers and you're watching this on YouTube, you know, I have everything listed, everything labeled. You can go ahead and rewatch if you want to look at the trade war and get more details on that. You can watch that video. It's available. Everything is available in layman's terms so that you understand. Remember this at election time. Make sure you do vote. And don't eat your young. No Democratic cannibalism. But on that note, you guys have a great week. We'll be meeting up soon. I hate to say this, but something's bound to happen this week. I'll check back in with you next Sunday. With that being said, make sure you follow me at GODDM. Beautiful gowns available on all digital platforms, retailers. We'll get ready to shoot the video for Pull Up next Saturday, the 17th. So be blessed. Lots of great things going on there. With that being said, you guys have a great night. Peace and love. Ooh, bitch, the button. Where's it at? Come on. Oh my God, this is crazy.